Hi everybody, I'm Kimberly Edwards from cookingwithkimberly.com and welcome to the breakfast series. This is a short group of videos that hopefully will get you kicked off on your day a little better, the most important meal of your day, and make things a little easier and simpler, maybe a little more delicious too, okay? Hopefully you'll be happy all throughout your day with these guys. Anyhow, today I'm going to make something somewhat of a classic that you may not have ever had, just, you know, it's kind of out there, not everyone has had it. But it's one of my very favorite breakfast items. I love this, and I don't get it very often, maybe a couple times a year, and that's it. So I squeeze the life out of every time I get to do this. These are fried green tomatoes I'm going to show you guys today. Now, we have tomatoes. The only way you get green tomatoes is if you grow them yourself or someone lovely grows them for you. You are unable to purchase green tomatoes at the grocery store. No one wants to buy green tomatoes for some reason. So you get all those beautiful red ones, and that's cool, but you have to go to an actual tomato plant and pick yourself a great big green tomato. And I don't mean green like just barely green like it's about to turn red. No ma'am. You want to go out there and you want to grab yourself a nice, hard, big green tomato. Right, Mom? If you don't use a really hard green tomato, what happens is it just, you know how red tomatoes, they're nice and soft and they just kind of fall apart? Well, think about frying a falling apart tomato in your frying pan. It's not going to work. It doesn't happen. So if you're halfway there, I mean, it's still going to get all mushy. This is going to stay nice and crisp, exactly the way you want it. But it's going to get nice and tender and you're going to eat it. It's going to be fabulous. Okay, first things first. So here you go. This is just a regular green tomato. I'm going to cut that top off because even though it's green, it still doesn't taste good. I don't want that. But don't cut too much out of it because you're gonna have one medallion that you're gonna cut from this tomato, and it's actually gonna have the hole in it, and that's the top, and that's the one that like kind of doesn't stay together as well as the other pieces, but that's okay. You don't want to waste it either. Now I'm gonna make nice wider slices than you would think. So picture a slice of tomato on your sandwich, and then make it like 1.5 times that, okay? So just slightly wider than what you would put on your sandwich. So something like that. Now that's the first one. This is great. Look, I cut just a little bit out of that top, and so I have a little bit of flesh still holding that bottom hole together. So now I'm gonna repeat that with the rest of them. Get a nice chunk. Behind me, I have a large frying pan, and it is preheating on a medium heat. And I'm about to add some nice oil to that. I'm just gonna slice this little top off. The skin of the tomato doesn't hold the coating as well. So you wanna try and get as much surface area without that if you can. So that last little piece, I'm just taking some off the bottom so that I have more fleshy surface area instead of that skin because it's slippery. Next thing's next. I'm gonna put some oil in my pan, about 2.5 tablespoons or so. You want it to be a shallow fry. You don't want it to be totally soaked. But you do want to make sure that this stuff is nice and hot before you put your tomatoes in there. So one big tomato gave me about 4 slices, 4 medallions. So if you want more, go ahead and grab more. But that's enough for me and Mom. You said, hey, anyway, tomorrow I'll go pick another one. Next thing, I am going to use an egg, 1 egg. Now, we're going to bread this, kind of like you would, say, veal parmesan, okay? But we're gonna cut out a couple crucial steps that you would typically use for meats and things like that, just because it's breakfast and you don't need a great big thick heavy coating. Now you can, a lot of people do it, but I don't think it's necessary. When you dredge, what you do is you dip it in milk, then you dip it in flour, then you dip it in your egg wash, and then you dip it in your crumbs. So you go wet, dry, then you throw it in and fry it. That's just too much of a coating for me for breakfast. I don't need it. So all I'm using are the 2 most important parts, I think, anyway, to make things tasty. First is the egg wash. So we're gonna do egg, 1 egg. I'm just whisking it up, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and a 1 dollop of milk. Splash. Now, buttermilk works fabulous. That would be a perfect addition as well. Just saying. Okay, so that's that. Now I'm gonna get my stations ready. That's my first station, that's my eggs. Next thing, I am going to use cornmeal. Now I'm using fine yellow cornmeal is my favorite. I don't like the white as much. Not that it doesn't work, it's just I prefer the yellow. Gotta prefer something. So I'm just gonna pour some into a plate, just so I can get these coated nice. And I'm gonna use just a little bit of breadcrumb. No, I'm not. So we're not going to use breadcrumb today. I thought I had some, but I don't feel like cracking them up, and you don't have to. So I'm going to use just a little tiny bit of flour. Whatever, you have to be adaptable, especially in the morning, because you will have a bad day if you don't just adapt. You know what I'm saying? Just go with it, baby. I'm using, I don't know, about a tablespoon of flour mixed in. Now, we have to season this as well, or our tomatoes won't be seasoned. So I'm going to put some pepper. I'm putting finely ground. You see how I'm using this out of here instead of grinding it up myself, which I usually do. I'm just going to use this. It's simpler. I'm tired in the morning and I don't function well. It's not my favorite time of day, so it's a struggle for me, I have to admit sometimes. And especially eating or getting everyone else fed. It's like, I don't want to. All I want is this right here is my tea. So this is kind of, you know, a learning experience for both of us. I get to teach you and I force myself to make some breakfast. It's all gravy. Okay. So here we go. I'm using some lachinata smoked paprika powder, and this is what it looks like in the jar. Okay, they have hot, they have sweet, and they have bittersweet. Now today, I would typically put some cayenne pepper in here, and instead of doing that, I'm gonna put the hot smoked paprika powder. Now it's very spicy, and that's the spice I'm looking for, but it's gonna give me just a hint of the smoky flavor that is gonna be so delicious on this. Now this is typically a southern dish, and you wanna, if you're gonna go to all this trouble to make fried green tomatoes, you better do it right. You better make sure it tastes stellar and fantastic. This might be the only time someone actually tries this from you. And they go, ooh, I didn't like them. I'm never trying them again. That's just a shame. You better make them good. Okay? That's not cool. Next, my oil should be dancing in the pan, and it is. It's happy, happy. Everything's gonna sizzle the minute I put it in there. So now I'm ready to assemble. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw them right into the pan as soon as I'm done here. So into the egg wash, quick, and then coat them with that cornmeal. Now it's not going to coat the outside of that skin, like I said, on the outside of that ring, but that's okay. Just get both sides, shake off any excess, try and grab it by the skin, because the coating's going to come off anyway. You don't want to mess with this part. You want to keep the coating nice and intact. But the side, the skin, it's going to come off anyway, so don't worry about it. Into my pan, it's perfectly sizzling. I'm going to show you. I guess it won't show you here. Yeah, it's still showing. It's still sizzling a bit. So you want to make sure it's sizzling when you put it in the pan, or you're going to have a big soggy mess as well. It's just your crumbs are going to soak up that oil, and then they're just going to like sit and bathe in it. Instead, what you want is you want that oil dancing and ready, and then when you throw it in, it just kind of sizzles on top of it. It doesn't soak it all in, okay? Coating them all up, I'm just going to repeat and get them all in my pan. The goal we're trying to achieve is a nice brown, golden brown on each side. You know, just like how you pan fry things. You want it to look like fried chicken, sort of. The cornmeal gives a nice crunch, a nice sweetness. You can even add just a hint of sugar into that mixture if you want to. I really like sweet cornbread and sweet cornmeal, so you can do that as well, but it's unnecessary. Okay, here we go. Last one. So this is going to take a few minutes aside. You're just going to make sure it's brown on one side, and then you're going to be ever so gingerly going to turn it over with either some tongs or a flipper. Either way, you're going to be extremely gentle. So I'm going to wash my hands, and we'll be back in a couple minutes when this is starting to brown, okay? Okay, my fried green tomatoes are looking pretty good. Let's take a look at them. Where's my tongs? They're there. I'm going to show you what they should look like. They need to go a little bit more than that. This is just a little bit brown. It's just starting to, you know, crisp up nicely. It's been about 3 or 4 minutes. Here's a little bit brown, but I want them more. And I don't want to mess with them too much because I don't want to mess with that crust. So you're going to leave it on the first side until you're happy with the color that you've got. Then you're going to flip it over. Don't be messing with it and flipping it back and forth every 2 seconds. Now on the side, I'm just doing some beautiful, nice kind of like home fries. These are leftover potatoes from last night's dinner, boiled potatoes with butter and salt and pepper, and I'm just gonna fry them up like home fries. Make sure you check out that recipe on my breakfast series, How to Cook Home Fries. All right, so we'll see you in a couple minutes again. All right. You're probably wondering who this cool guy is on my shirt. He's Joe. Meet Joe. Hi, Joe. Check him out online at kg2entertainment.com. He's cool, you know, cool sayings and things like that. Joe has a lot of good things to tell you. Joe, even through the storm, we're gonna smile, aren't we? Anyhow, check them out at kg2entertainment.com, where games stay games. That's what KG2, keeping games games. Check them out. It's a cool app for your iPhone and your Android. So he's Joe. Meet Joe. And let me show you these guys. These are looking beautiful, I believe. They should be ready to turn. Yeah, look at that. That's what I want. Brown, golden brown. Now flip them. Now they're really sizzling again. And we're gonna do the same thing on the other side, and that's it. I can't wait. These are one of my favorite things. Look at that. They're gorgeous. Oh, that's gonna be so delicious. I know, I'm so excited. Anyhow, we'll be right back when they're done on the other side too. Now the second side is always faster. Don't ask me why, it's just the way it is. Let me grab them, they're done. I'm excited. Move my potatoes on here. Okay, they are done. That's what they look like. They look like that on the other side too. Whoop. Don't break your beautiful crust that you just accomplished. There we go. They're gorgeous. Now what you can do is you want to put them on some paper towels to drain just the bottom part. Be gentle. Use that outside. Okay. Aren't they beautiful? I'm so excited. Look at those. That's a fried green tomato. That's how you do it. Now you serve that up with some bacon and some fried eggs with gooey yolk in it. Oh, come on, man. This is it. This is breakfast, as I'm telling you. Let me grab one of these and try them for you. Mom, come have the taste test. Ooh, it's so hot. The inside's still green. It's hotter than heck. You have that gorgeous crust on the outside, and they're tender all the way through. So that's what you want. You want them to be tender, but not gooey and falling apart. You will be able to see after you cook them that if you used a tomato that's a little bit more ripe, how it would just fall apart. It wouldn't even hold up to this. Now that hard cornmeal crust helps it stay together a lot. Now I'm also stalling so that I don't burn myself, because these are super hot when they come out of the pan. Now, if you're wondering what they taste like, they don't taste like tomato. They taste like, some other kind of vegetable. It's kind of tangy, it's kind of green, but it definitely does not taste like tomato, does it, Mom? No. Like a typical tomato.
Oh, delicious.
You just need a little bit of salt. No big deal. Want one? Want some? Here. It's a little bit cool. There's Mom. What do you think? What do you think it tastes like? How do we explain that?
Little lemony.
Rhubarby. Really? This is my mom, Ingrid Turner, by the way. She's off camera today.
It is so delicious.
Make sure you check out her website at ingridturnertoday.com. It's delicious. You like them?
Heavenly.
Did your mom used to make these? Did Grandma make these at home?
No, my mom never made them.
And you had tons of them.
Because we had a big family and we had tons of tomatoes. I think this is more a southern U.S. thing. That's kind of where it started, I believe. But now, of course, all the recipes are homogenated, and we all get to try other cuisines. And I really enjoy these. These are wonderful.
Me too.
And it's a great way to use up all those extra tomatoes.
Absolutely. Especially if you have, you know, it's so sad when a great big giant tomato like that falls off of the plant and you weren't expecting it. You know, if you're just inspecting it and you're holding a great big tomato and then it falls off in your hand green and you're like, oh man, what a waste. It's not a waste at all. Bring it in and do this. It's fantastic. These did need a little more salt, so you can always make sure that you add more salt into your egg wash as well as your crust. And that's it. That's how you make fried green tomatoes. It's a southern thing, but doesn't mean anything. I think they'd be especially good, when I have done them like that, in just straight bacon fat. That is just the bomb. But not everyone has that much bacon fat all the time. Anyhow, you can do them with any other oil if you want. That's it. That's all. You just want to make sure they're nice and golden brown on each side. That's it. They are so tasty, and they go perfectly as your breakfast. Or a side dish for dinner even. Anyhow, I hope you guys check that out. Make sure you check out Mom's website. Thanks, Mom. IngridTurnerToday.com. Bye. Bye-bye. Follow me on Twitter at Cooking with Kim E with a capital E. I hope you like the fan page. It's facebook.com/cookingwithkimberly. My shows are on youtube.com/cookingwithkimberly and ifood.tv/cookingwithkimberly. And my site is cookingwithkimberly.com. I do hope you will go check out kg2entertainment.com and say hello to Joe. All right, everybody, be a champion in your kitchen and eat deliciously. Bye. This is the breakfast series.